Originally, Battlefront 2015's DLC was supposed to be incredibly different. Originally, the Outer Rim DLC wasn't supposed to have any maps set on Tatooine, and would have been a Sullust-only DLC, with Jabba's Palace and other Tatooine maps, like Mos Eisley, being planned for the final DLC. However, when Lucasfilm and Disney told DICE that they had to make the final DLC Rogue One themed, Tatooine maps were added to the Outer Rim DLC. Ben Kenobi was originally planned for this Tatooine DLC, alongside Greedo. The Outer Rim DLC was also supposed to have completely different heroes, these being Chewbacca and Bossk. However, because of how complicated Chewbacca's fur was, DICE weren't able to complete him in time for the DLC, so instead of having no new heroes in the DLC, it was decided to create Nien-Nunb and Greedo out of the Celestian and Rodian models in the game. Luckily, Chewbacca and Bossk would later be added in the Death Star DLC. However, because of this, the original planned heroes for the Death Star DLC had to be cut. This DLC was supposed to include Ben Kenobi and Grand Moff Tarkin, with Ben being moved from the scrapped Tatooine DLC to this DLC. But what's interesting is that if the Rogue One DLC was somehow cancelled and DICE were able to make the Tatooine DLC, Ben would be moved back to Tatooine and would be replaced with R2-D2. The final scrapped hero that we know about is IG-88, who is supposed to be Lando's counter in the Bespin DLC. However, because character rigging IG-88 was going to take too long, it was decided to replace him with Dengar. The last bit of scrapped DLC that we know about are character skins that were planned to be added in the Death Star DLC. It was actually announced in an issue of the Star Wars Insider magazine that Leia would be in her A New Hope outfit on Death Star maps, and Han and Luke would be in their Stormtrooper disguise outfits on Death Star maps. However, for whatever reason, this just never happened, and it's never been confirmed as to why they weren't released.